Another day, another story. Over the past few months, there has been continuous news and coverage in the Western media regarding Russia's plans to invade Ukraine. This morning, large-scale military drills began, raising concerns about an imminent invasion. American intelligence reports indicate that over 2,000 troops were sent within the past 24 hours. As a result, American citizens are being advised to leave the area. On February 24, fears of an invasion were proven valid as Russian President Vladimir Putin declared war on Ukraine and authorized a military invasion. Explosions were reported across the country, and prior to the declaration, Russia had amassed a significant number of troops, tanks, artillery equipment, and field hospitals along the Ukrainian border and inside Belarus. This invasion force is comparable in size to the entire Ukrainian military and the force deployed by the United States during the Iraq invasion in 2003. The Russian government has also recognized the independence of the breakaway states of Donetsk and Luhansk and deployed troops in both regions. With the Russian military presence in Crimea, Ukraine is now almost completely surrounded, and the conflict has the potential to be the most serious in Europe since World War II. The main question is what Russia and Putin want with Ukraine, which is a complex issue rooted in historical factors. The collapse of the Soviet Union in the early 1990s reshaped the countries in the region, including Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus. These nations share a deeply connected history, and Russia has always sought to expand its control westward, especially across the North European plain, to narrow the gap it needs to defend against potential Western incursions. During the Cold War, Moscow had a buffer of satellite states in the Warsaw Pact, while NATO controlled the western part of Europe. However, the situation has changed since the collapse of the Soviet Union, with several former Warsaw Pact countries and former Soviet republics now part of NATO. This shift has pushed NATO's front lines further eastward, increasing Moscow's concerns. Ukraine is of particular importance to Russia because it lies between NATO and CSTO territories. If Ukraine falls under Moscow's control, it would secure Russia's defensive lines and limit NATO's reach across the North European plain. Additionally, energy resources play a crucial role in Russia's ambitions. Russia is a global power in terms of oil and gas production, and its revenues from exports significantly contribute to the country's budget and GDP. The European Union heavily relies on Russian gas, and any disruption in this trade relationship would be detrimental to both sides. Ukraine, with its vast potential reserves of natural gas and oil, poses a threat to Russia's dominance in the energy market. The Ukrainian government granted exploration and drilling rights to Western companies, which could have transformed Ukraine into a major gas competitor and potentially led to its inclusion in the EU and NATO. However, Russia's annexation of Crimea in 2014 gave it control over the majority of Ukraine's coastline and offshore reserves, preventing Ukraine from challenging Russia's gas supremacy. The proximity of the gas-rich areas to conflict zones further complicates the situation. Western companies withdrew from their contracts, leaving Ukraine without the means to extract these resources. From Putin's perspective, dismembering Ukraine was necessary to protect his regime's wealth and power. Returning Crimea to Ukraine would mean losing control over the exclusive economic zone and strategic port of Sevastopol, which are crucial to Russia's naval operations. Moreover, Ukraine has exerted pressure on Crimea by blocking the flow of fresh water into the peninsula, exacerbating its environmental and agricultural challenges.